Hey everybody, Eric Morris here, and today I'm going to be talking about my final design project, which was evaluating corn-based composites for use in clothing and plastics. This is for class Engineering 3830, bioprocessing. And so as kind of the project definition, or what I'm going to be talking about in this video, is I will be examining the ecological impact of corn-based composites. I'll do this by reviewing the commodity, which in this case is a kernel of corn. I'll also be talking about the bioprocess, from where we take the starch mixture from the corn kernel and then turn it into a composite that can be used in plastics or clothing. And I'm going to determine whether corn-based composites are an economically viable solution, and then finish everything up with looking at further research and where we can go from here. And so first, the review of the commodity. And so you can see on the diagram of the right that the corn kernel is 82% of its dry weight is the endosperm, which it contains mostly starch and protein. And so because of this, 56% of the corn kernel is actually made out of starch. And that's really important because the starch mixture is what we use to produce the composites for plastics and clothing, such as like rubber boots. And so the bioprocess in which we take that starch mixture and make a biodegradable plastic is compression molding. And so what happens is the starch mixture is poured into the mold cavity, which is that red triangle you see in the left diagram. Then what happens is the guide pins guide the upper and lower part of the die to come down together, and they compress that the starch mixture in the mold cavity at 50 megapascals for 30 minutes at 170 to 180 degrees Celsius. Afterwards, you've got that biodegradable plastic in the mold or shape that you wanted, whether it's a rubber boot or a plastic container. So now that you've seen the commodity and you've also gotten to see the bioprocess that it's made, you're probably asking yourself, okay, this seems like a cool idea. You've got biodegradable plastic. Is this a solution that we can actually implement in the industry? Is this, oops, I'm sorry, wrong slide. Is this a viable solution? That is the question we are asking ourselves right now. And so, ecologically, it is a very viable solution. The corn-based plastics are 50 to 60, the bioprocess to produce the corn-based plastics is 50 to 60% less greenhouse gases than standard industry plastics. They also take 30 to 40% less energy to produce. However, they are 5 to 10 times more expensive. And so for a company to produce corn-based plastics, they would have a hard time keeping up with their industry competitors who are producing regular plastics. And so that leads into further research that can be done, future designs that can make corn-based composites more economically viable, possible ways that we could reduce the cost of making the corn-based plastics so that they would be a more economic solution, because we already know that they're great for the environment. And so lastly, these are the references that I've used, and any questions.